Hey guys, Allison Maxwell here again. I wanted to take you into our next step. We have students that we're working with in phonological awareness, the ability to manipulate sounds and the language that we hear spoken around us, into actually looking at print. We call this decoding because there's a code. Each letter of our English language represents a sound. Some letters, when you put them together, create a new sound. So kids have to crack the code. They have to figure out, how does all this work? Are there rules for decoding or reading these words? And so we've started teaching students about the 6 syllable types. And so I wanted to share a little bit about what we've been doing and also share a slideshow that I created with you. I had a chance to walk in and out of each of the classrooms, and from kindergarten to 6th grade to the front office and even to the gym for our PE teachers. We have posters all around with different words that fit into one of these 6 syllable types. And did you know you can decode any word in the English language with these 6 syllable types? So never again will a student have to come to a word and skip it or guess or not be confident or know what to do to try to figure out how to read that word. So I want to share my screen. This is where the teachers and I and our principal and assistant principal, our staff, this is where we began our study, thinking about what's called the simple view of reading. And as I said earlier, and I've made a video earlier for you guys, we're starting with phonological awareness. Can we first hear the sounds in our language and actually work with those words, those sounds, manipulate them, all the way down to the phoneme level? Well, another part of decoding, once we are phonologically aware or phonemically aware, is what we call phonics. And this is that relationship between speech and print, sound and print. And so each time we see a word, we can locate the vowel in the word, and we have steps to determine that particular syllable or even that word, how to pronounce it. And so this is why this is so important. Without a strategy for chunking longer words into manageable parts, students may look at the word and simply guess or skip it. And so they are learning syllable patterns and syllable types in order to determine how to pronounce those words. These are the steps that you might see posted in most of our classrooms. This will also be a part of our slideshow we'll show you. The students are learning that these are the 5 steps. When they come across a word, they first identify the vowel. Maybe there's more than one vowel. They look to see what letter follows the vowel, and that's going to tell them what syllable type. And everything about the syllable type, the reason we try to determine what it is for pronunciation. Is the vowel sound going to be long, or is the vowel sound going to be short? And actually, vowels can make 3 sounds. The most common sound that we hear and see that vowels make is what's called the schwa. It looks like an upside down E, and it makes the sound. So even our students that are looking at 2-syllable and 3-syllable words and applying these same steps encounter the schwa quite frequently. And after they identify the syllable type, they know if that syllable is going to have a long vowel sound or a short vowel sound. They say the vowel sound, and then they're able to read the word. Let me show you. Remember that syllables are just that, a unit of speech. And we talked to you about every time you hear a vowel sound, which every syllable has one vowel sound, your chin will drop. And so that's how students can feel and know and hear that they're encountering a new syllable. So you take the example of the word black. Our jaw drops 1 time for that vowel sound. There's 1 syllable. If we look at the word consonant, our chin drops several times, and that indicates the 3 syllables that are present in that word. Some words may only have 1 syllable, like the word I. And so these are the 6 syllable types. The first one is what we call a closed syllable. And when we locate the vowel, and remember the next step is to look at what follows the vowel, it's closed in, it's going to make that short sound, that in at, or for net, or for slump. And so these are our steps. Identify the vowel, look to see what follows the vowel, figure out the syllable type, say the vowel sound, and then read the word. Some words are closed in with consonants, making a short sound. Some words are left open. There's not a consonant to close them in. And they're going to make that long vowel sound, like O is left open and E is left open. And so these words would be pronounced with the long vowel, the vowels that might say their name. So, be. The 3rd syllable type is what we call Vowel-Consonant-Silent E. You might have heard it as sneaky E. we know that when we look at this word, L-I-K-E, we identify the vowel. We see an I. Oh, we see another vowel, an E at the end. And so we know that that E is going to help that I to say its name. And so we would pronounce that word like. Another syllable type we call vowel teams. And these are two adjacent vowels that are side by side. Sometimes the first vowel does the talking, but really only about 40% of the time does that little jingle when two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. I don't know if you've heard your kids say that, but it only works about 40% of the time, but it is what we encourage students to try first and see if that word sounds familiar. So once again, we look at our steps. In this first word, we would identify the vowels and to see what follows the vowel. Oh, what follows the O is another vowel, A. And so we would try that long vowel sound of the first vowel, O, and the word is boat. Sometimes 3 or 4 letters can be associated as the vowel sound. In this word, IGH, EIGH, these consonants are actually functioning as to help with the vowel sound. And so they make that long sound. And so a vowel team is not just 2 letters that are adjacent. It could be 3 or even 4. The next syllable type is the vowel R. And this is when R really takes over the vowel sound. And so in a word like this, C-A-R-D, our first step, we identify the vowel. We look at the letter after the vowel. Oh, it's an R. And so we know that this sound could be R, or. And what's tricky with this one is can be spelled E-R, I-R, or U-R. The next syllable type is consonant LE. And so this is when LE follows the consonant. And there's actually not a vowel sound, but what we hear is this L, and it has a vowel-like quality because even saying the name of the letter L, you start it with the short E sound, L. And then that E on the end is silent, and it's providing the vowel for that syllable. So let me show you an example. If we look at this word, we notice it has 2 vowels. And those 2 vowels indicate that we have 2 syllables. And so we look at the second syllable here, and we notice that we have a consonant, B, an L, and an E. And so we know right away that that'll have that ol sound at the end. And these are our 6 syllable types. Every syllable has at least 1 vowel sound. This not only helps students to decode words, but it also helps students when they're spelling words, especially when they come across a word that has multiple syllables. We tell them, you're not reading that whole word. Don't be afraid. You're reading each individual small syllable. You can do that. And then you put each of those syllable sounds together to read that large word. So if you're working with your students at home, all of our teachers have had a chance to make and tape the steps for decoding and the 6 syllable types. I encourage you to ask your students about these. I think they'll be able to teach you. And this is just a great way to give them some confidence and to give them strategies when they come across a word that they don't know. Thanks, guys. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact your teacher, our administrators, or myself, and we'd be happy to help you with some techniques and some ideas of some things to try at home.